YouTube, how's it going? I'm back with another 7-round NFL mock draft. This one is for the San Francisco 49ers, who may have the 9th or the 10th pick in the upcoming draft. We don't know yet. They got to flip a coin between them and the Raiders. So I'm going to upload both Niners and the Raiders today. The Niners are first, so after this video, check out the Raiders 7-round mock draft. Also doing fan-voted mock drafts. We're going to keep going through those, give you guys time to vote, though. And once that's through, make another video breaking down who you guys chose for each pick. So that'll be fun. So the Niners on the clock with the 9th. We'll go with the 9th pick right now, maybe 10 though. But they can go a number of ways. They have some needs still, even though they had ended the season nicely. I like Quenton Nelson, the offensive lineman for Notre Dame, one of my top players in the draft. Will he be gone before the Niners? He might be because he's a top 3 player in the draft. He could go later than the Niners. He could go to the Niners. He can go later because how early is too early to take a guard. But I went with a guy that may be my favorite player in the draft. I know John Lynch is going to have a hard time passing on this guy, and that is Tremaine Edmunds, the linebacker from Virginia Tech. Very rare talent, 6'5", freak size, a lot of potential. Usually these potential guys I don't like because they're not really ready to play now, but this guy's ready to play now. He's worthy of the 9th pick or 10th pick right now. And he has the potential. He can do many different things. You know, the Niners threw Reuben Foster is a middle linebacker, but they threw him weak side at times. But everyone knows he's going to be the middle linebacker as long as he stays. He doesn't get in more trouble if there's no suspension. But Reuben Foster is the guy of the future there. He's a great player. He'll be the middle linebacker. So Tremaine Edmunds can play outside. I mean, he can play D end. It reminds me, I had 2 comparisons for him. I got Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame, and then Dallas Cowboys linebacker, and Anthony Barr, who was from UCLA and now in the Minnesota Vikings. He's got the freak abilities that those guys have. Jalen Smith, we weren't really sure if he was inside, outside linebacker. Then all of a sudden, we're finding out this guy can play D-end. Reminds me of him a lot. Then Anthony Barr was more of an edge rusher in college. The Vikings get him and play him an outside linebacker, drop him back in coverage. So, Anthony Barr could have went to like any team, 3-4 team, 4-3 team, 4-3 team, be doing different thing if he was on a 3-4 team, but that's the type of guy Tremaine Edmunds is. He can go to any of these teams like Roquan Smith, Rashaan Evans, maybe need to go to specific defenses. Tremaine Edmunds can go to any team, make an impact, and he can play multiple positions. The guy's a freak. He may be my best player in the draft, and I don't see John Lynch passing on him. He may be here at this pick. I'm thinking about the Bears maybe. The pick before or 2 picks before may take him. But I like Tremaine Edmunds a lot. I like him with Reuben Foster. Almost called him Froster like Goodell. But yeah, the other linebackers are very good too. I thought about Roquan Smith. I really thought about Rashaan Evans, bringing him in with Reuben Foster. They could use a corner. Quenton Nelson. I love Quenton Nelson. So you can go a number of ways here. But I just love Edmunds. And I know John Lynch is gonna like him too. The guy's a freak. But on to the second round. JAIRE Alexander, cornerback from Louisville guy. I would say a range from round 1 to 2, but I don't think he's going to go round 1. I actually have a late round 1 grade on him. I love JAIRE Alexander. Loved him last year. Picked off Deshaun Watson 2 times. You watch the tape on this guy. He's all over the place. He attacks the ball very well. Gets the interceptions. Some of these guys, you see them jump the routes perfectly. They can't get their hands on the ball, though. Don't make the interception. This guy does it all. Very confident player, too. Got a little cockiness in him, too. Like, reminds me of the top corners in today's NFL. He's got that right attitude. So, I know some people don't like him. A lot of people are going to hate him if you're playing against him. He's a good football player. I like him a lot. Going to get a lot of interceptions. Reminds me a little bit of Mackenzie Alexander from Clemson a few years ago, who I really liked. Really, the only difference is Mackenzie Alexander would make the play up until the interception. He couldn't catch the ball. JAIRE Alexander will make the interception, so I like him better. Again, all over the place, put on the film, just stands out. So I like JAIRE Alexander in the second round for the Niners, in which they need a corner. Pairing him with Ahkello Witherspoon would be just fantastic. Love Ahkello Witherspoon. Was one of my favorite players in the draft last season. Long corner, so a little bit different than Alexander, but that'll work out. I don't like having 2 of the same exact style corners on the field. I mean, it could work out, but I prefer something like this. On to the third round. I got them going. John Kelly, running back from Tennessee. Another one of my favorite players in the draft. I love John Kelly. Very aggressive runner. I want to know why this guy's so angry. He runs so angry. Similar to Kamara last year, breaks a lot of tackles that you don't think he's going to get out of. Kamara was more of a smart runner, knew where to go to get the defenders to slip off him. John Kelly just very aggressive, very impressive stiff arm. Hits the hole with speed. I'm kind of curious what he's going to run. I think he'll run in the 4.4s. I mean, the guy should go in the second round, I think, but he's going to go around 3 or 4. Excellent player. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think he can be the starting running back for the Niners, honestly. He could battle Carlos Hyde if they could bring him back. If they do bring back Hyde, they could definitely still use Kelly for sure. I don't really like their depth all that much at running back, but I think Kelly's the day one starting running back. I truly do. I like this guy a lot. So who's going to be the next pick? We got another third rounder here, I believe. Yep, it's Dante Pettis, wide receiver from Washington. Could sneak in the second round. Route running. This guy can run routes, let me tell you. People talk about Calvin really the best route runner in the draft. I'm looking at Dante Pettis and Anthony Miller at the top. I was thinking about Anthony Miller here, but I like to fit Pettis with Garoppolo better. Recently watched film on Pettis. Remind me a lot of Adam Thielen, the Vikings wide receiver. Very smart player, great route runner, just knows the field. Doesn't even have to look at the defensive backs, knows the field once he lines up. Just a smart player. Yeah, he's a little thin. Could use some more size, but can catch the ball. And, you know, he was really the only receiver without John Ross. Seen him double covered. So if he goes in the NFL with another receiver, Garcon on the field, a couple other guys, they're going to need to get some more guys, but he'll get open. I can guarantee you that. So he could sneak into the second round because route running may be the most important trait for receivers over the last few years while drafting one, because guys that struggle to run routes are the guys that end up being busts or not making it to the NFL, or through it, I should say. So I like Dante Pettis. You can flip those guys too, John Kelly, Dante Pettis, and I think they're both going to be early third-round picks. I think one's the Bears, so it could go either way. Dante Pettis may come off the board first. I can see a team grabbing him in the second round, but it's possible he can drop maybe third, maybe 4. I've talked about it before, the receivers in this draft. It's going to be very, very interesting to see the order they come off the board. There's literally like 10 guys that you can rank just in any order. It's insanity. Can't wait to see how they come off the board. But I like Pettis. I like his route running. And he can return, too, if you need him to. Fourth round, Braden Smith, offensive lineman, Auburn. Another guy with a range of maybe third or fourth round, solid guard. Passed on Quenton Nelson early. This guy can start right away. I think the Niners may go for like a guy like Andrew Norwell. I made a video on him. Plenty of other free agents we broke down, predicted where they're going to go. I think the Niners will spend their money on a guy like Norwell, maybe a top receiver, but Jarvis Landry is gone off the market now. So I prefer building offensive linemen through free agency first, drafting offensive linemen around here, maybe layering this for depth. They can grow into starters. A lot of stars in the league were either undrafted or late picks. I know a guy like Quenton Nelson's a different story. Obviously, you don't see a guy like that all the time, so that's an obviously he's a possibility there in the first round. But I do like Braden Smith a lot. He could possibly come in there and start, but I'd look out for them going for a top guard in free agency, maybe Justin Pugh or Andrew Norwell, which is the top one in my opinion. So there's Braden Smith in the fourth round. Don't have a fifth, but they have a sixth. I got him taking JAVON WIMS, wide receiver from Georgia. Already had him taking Pettis, but now we get a big body guy, really red zone guy, goal line fade, got good hands there. He has some inconsistent drops, but when you're throwing the ball up to him and he's facing the ball, which would be a red zone play, a goal line fade play, he's got good hands in that situation. He's got strong hands. He'll take it from a guy. So a lot of potential here. People worry about his routes a little bit. Not asked to do a whole lot at Georgia. So strong guy. I like his potential. Big play guy. So that's why he's a later round pick. So they could use a guy like that. On to 7th round. I can't believe I got Josh Adams all the way down the 7th round, but I think it's going to happen. This guy's such a beast. I'm actually a Notre Dame fan, and I love watching Josh Adams. Why is he going to go this late? Well, there's a few reasons. Injuries is the main thing. He never was out for an extended period of time, but it seems like every single game this year he just kept getting hurt, kept going down, had to come out, maybe set out the rest of the game, missed a good portion of the game. He got bad knees. His long speed for how big he is actually really good, but the first step, getting the ball, hitting the hole, he's lacking that speed. pretty slow in that area, but as soon as he gets going, for a big guy, he can move. But so I think he'll go later for that reason. But he can break tackles. He can move for a big guy, like I said, once he gets going. He's smart. I think he'll go late, though. It's unfortunate because he's such a beast, but I think he'll be a great third down back in the NFL. Just limit his carries. I think he'll be a guy that can get 5 to 10 carries a game, and he'll be really good at doing that. It's just really the main thing is the injury thing coming off the field, but if he's second or third string coming in for a few snaps, it'll be good. He can block too. So I like Josh Adams a lot. It's just unfortunate that he'll go this late. If it wasn't for him coming off the field, he could be way earlier in this, day 2 possibly. So Niners, I don't really like their running back depth. They don't have Carlos Hyde back as of now, so I haven't picking up John Kelly, Josh Adams. That'd be a good duo. But even if they do get Hyde, look out for them maybe getting 2 running backs between free agency and the draft total. So they get some depth and some options there. So maybe Hyde is only back for a year. Maybe he's not back at all. We'll see. I am a fan of Carlos Hyde, though. I thought he really improved. So I would like for them to get him back. But I do like John Kelly. I want to see John Kelly start somewhere. But on to the last pick, another 7th rounder, Michael Joseph, the corner from Dubuque, Division III guy. Very popular at the Senior Bowl, has very good ball skills, can track the ball, knows where to go and get it. Technique, footwork needs some work, but it's a good place to go. The Niners is a good place to go. You already got Akello Witherspoon, who they're developing nicely. I like him a lot. I have them getting Jaire Alexander. So Joseph will be on the bench for a little bit. That's what the 7th round is for. And it just makes sense. They could use another corner for depth. They can use the guy they can develop into. This guy could be a very good player, could be a starter. He just needs to work. So it's a good landing spot, I think, for them to go to the Niners. I would like it a lot. Division III guy, a little risky, but he was pretty good at the Senior. If you got a Senior Bowl invite when you're Division III, you're doing something right. So, and he was very good in practice. Game was a little, he got beat sometimes in the game, but it's because his technique, his footwork, he knows how to track the ball. He's got good hands. He's strong. I like Joseph late rounds for a team to work with. Needs to go to the right team though. So there's all the picks for the Niners. They can go a number of different ways. They got plenty of cap space. Again, I like filling the offensive line out in free agency. You know, Quenton Nelson's a realistic option. I do love Quenton Nelson. I'm just a big fan of Tremaine. I'm a big fan of all these linebackers in the draft. So, you know, the Niners, they might not be able to help themselves with those defensive playmakers. Stack that defensive team up there and keep on going from there. I know they need to help out Garoppolo a lot, but there's the difference between the receivers and the running backs from first round to second, third. There's not that big of a difference. So I think you can do both there. You can stack that defense early, fill out the offense line free agency, get some playmakers round 2, 3, maybe 4. They got a bright future, the Niners. I think they can continue building to the draft. They know what they're doing. You know, I might call them not a win now team, but that doesn't mean they can't go to the playoffs or anything. I just don't think they're ready to win the Super Bowl. I think they need to play it safe, keep building through the draft, and then be a Super Bowl contender, a win now team for multiple years. You don't want to risk anything in free agency, spend too much where you hurt yourself in the future, where all these stud rookies are free agents and you got to pay them. And you can't, so that's my take on it. Keep doing what you're doing, rebuilding in the draft. I like where the Niners are heading. So that'll do it for the Niners. Next up is the Raiders. Got plenty more free agency and mock draft videos. Another 2-round mock coming soon this weekend, I hope. That's more of what I think will happen. These team by team is like what I would do while being realistic at the same time. So stay tuned for all that. Plenty of videos to come. Thanks for the support. Please like, subscribe. That'll do it. Goodbye.